Hi there, it's Jenna from scribblinggrace.com. Today I'm doing a Bible journaling with me video on how I'm painting some cherry blossom branches in my journaling Bible. So I'm kind of giving the impression like the tree is off to my right side and you're just going to see kind of the tips of some of the branches going along my page. So I'm starting off with the branch themselves. I'm using some brown watercolor from my Kuretake Gansing Tambi watercolor set and just picking a little bit of that up with a small round paintbrush and just creating some random branch shapes. I don't really have any plan to where I'm putting these branches, just kind of going about it. And so I'm just starting off kind of wider at the edge of my page and then going a little bit thinner as I get farther into my page and adding some small thin branches off those big branches as well. Trying to just get somewhat of a tree branch type of shape, but really these can be any type of weird funky shape, somewhat going upward. Anyways, so I am painting cherry blossoms because when I was originally painting this page, it was cherry blossom season in Japan. And I lived in Japan for 2 years with my husband as we were stationed there. And I so missed the cherry blossoms this year. So I just decided that I would paint some. So once I have my branches all painted, I'm going to go ahead and add the little cherry blossoms. This is kind of an abstract impressionist type of painting here. It's not super duper realistic, but you get the whole image. You get the idea of it. So a couple things I want to point out is that I did not prep my page. I very, very, very rarely ever prep my page because I only really use like the same 8 supplies for almost all of my Bible journaling pages, and those supplies don't bleed through a journaling Bible page. So I didn't prep my page, and I'm just painting directly on the page there. And I did not get any bleed through with this page at all. So to paint my little cherry blossoms, I guess, again, I'm just kind of trying to be quick about it and just kind of going with the flow. Don't have any plan on where I'm putting my cherry blossoms. And I'm just kind of trying to create little bunches of strokes that create somewhat of oval looking type of blossoms, I guess, coming off of those branches. So some are bigger and then some of my swipes will be a little bit smaller. I'm not worried about the shape being completely perfect because if you look farther back, if you just look at the page, you're not really going to be analyzing each of these strokes, so they don't need to be totally perfect. I just want to get the impression that instead of leaves, that these are little cherry blossoms sprouting from the trees. So I'm just kind of sticking that brush on the page. That's one of my biggest things about Bible journaling is not to stress too much about it. Just go with it, go with the flow, and have fun. Enjoy the time spent in the Word. And I'm using a pink color from my watercolor set, but I did add a little bit of brown straight into that palette, so it's kind of a murky pink color, and I'm using quite a lot of water and just very little pigment because I want this to be kind of light background. You could totally, if you wanted to try this out yourself, and I would encourage you to do so, you could totally change this up and just use a nice vibrant pink, or you could even do this with green and just have these little cherry blossoms be a normal tree branch. I would encourage you to be creative with it and have fun and do your own thing. And I'm just going to keep on painting these little cherry blossoms all around my tree. Another thing I want to note is that this brush I'm using is really nothing fancy. I get asked about the brush that I use all the time. It's just a simple round paintbrush. I'm not even sure exactly what size it is. I just get my paintbrushes from those value packs at the craft store or Walmart, so nothing fancy. And I'm just trying to fill in the blank spaces to make sure that my page is nice and full and there's no awkward spots. And that's about it for my cherry blossom tree. It took under 5 minutes for the tree part itself for this page. and this was real time this whole time. So that's that. And then I'm going to go ahead and I want to kind of add a little something extra to this. So I'm just going to take a flat paintbrush. This is just a 1/4 inch size, I believe, and some green paint, and I'm just gonna flick that onto my page to create a little green splatter, and this will give me kind of maybe the impression that there's some leaves, but adding that little green just kind of gives it a little something extra to the page. And you want to use a brush for this that has somewhat stiff bristles. You could also use a toothbrush as well to create splatters. And that'll create a nice, good little dots around the page. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my lettering. And so I am writing out, "He is my rock and my salvation, my fortress, I shall not be shaken." And that's Psalm 62, verse 6. And so I'm writing it out with my pencil first to make sure that my spelling's correct and that my spacing is all where I want it to be. And then I'm going to use my Tombow Funosuke brush pen to do some brush pen calligraphy. And I have tutorials on how to do this calligraphy and other hand lettering styles on my blog, and you can also find those links in the blog post that goes along with this video at scribblinggrace.com/cherryblossoms. And I will put that link in the description below as well, so be sure to head on over there. You'll also find links to all the supplies I'm using in this page, in that blog post at scribblinggrace.com/cherryblossoms again. So a key thing about the pencil is that because I don't prep my pages, the pencil comes off easily. If you prep your page with gesso, the pencil can usually smudge and smear, and it doesn't erase very easily, so that's something to keep in mind. So I have no problem erasing that, but it's because I did not prep my page. So that's it for my page. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. All right, I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless.